A little late, you're set.
All right. 6:53, calling selectmen's meeting to order. We're gonna do the flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's review the minutes. I don't know what you guys got, but my minutes are,
Incorrect?
yep. We're the front page.
Whoops, hold on, let me see, 3, front page. Oh, hold on. You got all of them, you guys over there? Something got shuffled, here you go, Tony, take my set, I don't need them. And then the other set is because we had to do an executive session during work session the other night, Tony.
Right, yep.
You're welcome, sorry about that.
Yep.
Ryan brought that bill in today, Tony, so we're all set with that.
All right.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes.
All second it? All in favor? Aye. Okay.
We have a second set of minutes there.
We have the work session.
December 16th.
Yeah, and then there's the work session from the 29th. There should be a page on the back.
I got that.
That one right there. Where we had to go into executive session for legal, we had to do a set of minutes
Right.
and an outcome.
Okay.
You need a separate motion for this one as well? or-
Yeah, because it was just you and Chris,
Yeah.
plus it was a separate day.
Sean,
Hmm?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the executive session.
Okay.
Seems to be correct on my end.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Tony, you abstained because you weren't here, right?
Yep.
All set.
All right, Parks and Rec, pickleball. Who wants to move pickleball? Jim?
Yeah, so she called me today. She's under the weather, so she asked me to go into this for you. So basically, the dance school that uses one of the rooms needs to use the gymnasium now on Thursday evenings, in the time that they would have been using it for pickleball. So they've asked as an alternative if after, I think it'll be after February or right off, they'll want to see if you're okay with them moving pickleball to the Troy gymnasium, Troy School gymnasium. We'd have to do a new agreement with them to do that temporarily until they can move back to Unity.
Why don't the dance move up to that?
It's a good question. I don't know. It's a good question because I asked that as well, but I think that Judith is under the impression that we really need to have the select board and the superintendent or the department head for facilities work with, sit down and talk with us because, it's getting so that they don't want to work with us and, we own the building, so we should get first priority anyway. But that's something that you might want to decide to do if you want to reach out. Peter Quimby is the facility manager. He's the one that I reached the night that we had the issue with the door, but Judith says the same thing. We don't have a list of expectations. If something goes wrong, no contact information should something happen. And all we do is get attitude and bite back when we explain the position that we have, like we left the door unlocked, or we have broken this, or this is why the tables aren't put away. Well, when Steve worked there, we didn't have to clean the gym. He just did it for us. That was part of the custodial program. Those tables, if they're going to use them for lunching, then why would we have to fold them up and put them back in the closet? I could see sweeping the floor if we'd left a mess, which we did as the night of that meeting, but we spent an hour and a half messing and monkey wrenching with the door and getting a hold of someone to make sure the building was secure. So I guess she's asking, first of all, permission, if it's all right, if you're okay with them moving pickleball out there, if the group that's playing wants to travel there.
I'm not until we find out what the dance class is. Where was the dance class before?
In
I
one
don't
of the
know anything about
class,
this
the dance classes are, it's a dance school that rents one of the rooms. And I guess there's something, they need to use the gymnasium instead of the room. Something about the floor is getting scratched, but I'm thinking if you're doing tapping, you're going to be scratching the gym floor, which I'd be more apt to want to have them scratch the floor. I'm like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. Yeah, it doesn't either.
And why don't they have the dance move up to say, what the dance used to be up at the Masonic Hall?
I don't know. Maybe they
That's where
can't get a rental.
I remember taking Evan when he was just a little kid. He wanted to, when he was in third grade, he was dancing. That's where we had to do it. It was downstairs, below the Masonic Hall. Was up there.
How many participants do you think we have for the pickleball?
We have quite a few at a good size. I want to say at least 10, if not more. I mean, I haven't attended because I'm not.
Is my honest opinion. If you are trying to build some sort of community spirit and get people to participate,
Why would you
it
ship them
does
out
no
of
good
town?
to send them to the town next door.
Yeah.
Has the dance thing looked at all the options?
I don't think the dance school is the one that's being asked to move. I think the district is saying they don't want them in the classroom because it's scratching the floor and they're going to put them in the gym.
Pretty hard to make some sort of assumption when we actually don't know what's
No,
going
right.
on. I mean,
Sure.
you'd have to reach out to the school and find out exactly what's going on, but I mean, as far as the basketball, I mean, this time of year, basketball
Yeah, and that's-
always took precedent at that gym.
It
as
has
long as
to,
I've been
yes,
here.
because there's no other location. The other option is try to fight with the college to get access to their gymnasium. But then again, like
Yeah.
Judah said, will they heat it this time of year?
It's the only time of year that,
Because like she said, if it wasn't for the fact that we have basketball going on, I mean, my team practices Monday and Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. And there's teams that use it before us for the third and fourth grade.
It's always taken precedent, and it's just for a couple months out of the year. I mean, that you may run into a conflict, but I think this is my feeling, but if you have the participants there that are taking part in the pickleball, and I think that should be the second in line.
Well,
Yeah.
so the thing
Yeah.
of it is, we
The
have.
classrooms are big enough to hold all the kids.
Well, they
I don't know,
are.
I'm just-
It's not about I don't think it's about the size of the classroom. They've been having dance school there for a couple years now. I think it's that the town, not the town, but the school system wants to move them. So it's not, why are we getting bumped on an agreement that we've agreed to have the facility?
If they're gonna damage the floor, they'll damage the floor.
They're gonna damage
wherever
the
they
gym
go.
floor even
Out
worse,
there doing
yeah.
tap dancing, or
Both, yeah, I guess so.
how else would you ruin
I
it?
guess I wanna hear something from, other parties to figure out this, because we're making assumptions.
So why don't
Typically,
we?
you change your shoes before you go out,
Yeah, we have to take our street shoes off to go in the gym. Now they're gonna let tap shoes go in on that gym floor. I mean, basketball, when we come in off the street, we have to take off our shoes in the lobby and go into the gym and then put our shoes on. So why is it a concern now? Like, I mean, what's the difference? I mean, if they're protecting the floor of the gym, then they're gonna end up in the same problem.
Alright, so let's get a hold of the school department.
So you want me to contact Pete Quimby,
Yes,
the
either
facility
one of them.
coordinator?
even the superintendent.
I don't think
Yeah.
the superintendent needs to be involved in this yet, because because it's facilities and it's not there. Nobody can get past Maria to talk to anyone. We've got a direct contact with Pete, call him, give him our gripe and see where it goes. That's what I say, but
I thought
Why
we
not
was,
just chop the tree down at the top?
because they know when I return your calls. If you can't get through the superintendent's secretary, how are you gonna get him to answer you?
I'll show you.
Walk right over there? Okay.
Thank you.
So you can go to the superintendent, and
Won't be the
tomorrow
first
I'll call
time.
Peter. All right, reach out to school district.
And I thought they were gonna come in and meet with us,
I haven't had a chance to get a hold of either one of them. I was in the assumption that with Nadine on the school board that she was doing some of that updates, and then she came in that next meeting. But I haven't had a chance to reach out to, honestly, to Lisa and Glenn. But I will put that on my list to work on.
I know that Gene right now, the school is right in the middle of getting ready. Well, the senior day was supposed to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
With wrestling meet, so that she's been busy with that, getting all the flowers and for the seniors and all that kind of good stuff. Otherwise, and then of course, the opportunity to meet with Troy for the reconstruction of the house was tonight.
Yeah. So I
Because
mean,
we couldn't do it tomorrow because it was supposed to schedule for the big, wrestling tournament, which she's involved.
You guys,
Of course, not the weather.
you guys broke the door over there, so that's probably why they're not letting us use it.
Peter said it was fine. He said nothing. They called us. So Maria called our office, chewed us out about the condition of the gym and the back door. And I said, I don't know what your problem is. I talked to Pete Quimby last night, and I said what we did was fine. He was pretty much happy that we secured the building. And I said if we didn't have to spend an hour and a half trying to find a phone number to get a hold of someone so that we could secure the building, then maybe we would have been able to sweep the floor and put the tables away. But anyway,
they don't have a janitor over there?
they have a janitor. That's the thing. They have a custodian. They
That was
pay
part
for
of their
this.
job, so-
That was my impression
When I was
too.
in school, the janitors cleaned the floor.
Right, but anytime I did janitorial things, if I had a list of all the renters, so if I had a renter coming in overnight that may have done damage or stuff, I would go in and clean right before, right after they left. So it's available for the next morning so I don't understand why this is such an issue. But
It's not like they aren't policing the communities for enough money to sweep the floor.
Right. No kidding.
You get one of those robots.
Yeah.
That'd be the next thing is they'll have a robot and nobody will be doing any work.
Don't have them when it comes to budget.
Mm-hmm.
That's my wish list.
Get rid of the custodian, get a robot.
Get a robot.
All right, fire department. Going once, going twice, going again. Sure. Let's see, new business. Oh, you want to close the office again, I see.
Usually we close the last
What's
day.
that
Of,
again?
we usually close the office the last day of the fiscal year so we can do year-end processing. The last few years we've had to do more than just one day. I'm going to try to have it done on Friday the 30th, but books won't close until Saturday the 30th. So my assumption is to close February 2nd while we do the year-end processing. If perchance we're able to get it done first thing, we'd obviously open the office that afternoon for the rest of the day.
What day is this?
It's a Monday.
Monday.
February 2nd is a
February
Monday.
2nd.
Yep. And we'll have a work session that night.
Well, now give us the rest of the week though. So when these get done, we can still get it done.
That way, if we have any
Versus-
problems, if we have any problems in the process of doing the year-end closing, we can reach Harris Government, and be able to get help and assistance and technical assistance if there's an issue. But I can't do it on Friday because it doesn't allow you to close your books until after the 31st or after.
Right.
So
So we're gonna have a work session on that day?
that night we'll have a work session because we got a selectmen's meeting the next night.
Budget.
She gets to take the day off.
I'm not going to take the day off. I'm going to
We
be
get-
working.
Yeah.
Would you like to come do year end with me? I would love to see you try. No, we'll be working. It's just we would like to close so that there's no people coming in because we can't transact when we're doing year end. You can't take in money and constantly change your account notices and such like that, the amounts, and it doesn't add up right.
It's like updating the website. You gotta close it down for a few minutes.
Just to get
Okay,
it done.
Nancy. We had to book the building before we knew what was in it.
All right, are we doing this or not? Make a motion.
I make a motion that we agree to shut down the office on February 2nd for end of year processing.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Just post it ahead of time.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yes.
post it tomorrow. I'll post it on the website tomorrow.
Thank you.
So a lot of people will have
Yeah,
already
right,
have
I was right.
knowledge.
We're not shocked or surprised.
And we'll be here with a sign on the door. If someone's pounding on the door asking why, we'll go, okay, well, we can't do any financial if you want to come in and do an FOA or whatever, but we can't do any financial transactions. I think we already talked about this, but in order for me to open these two donation accounts at the bank, I need minutes that say that you've approved to open these two funds because it's opening a new account. But we talked about opening a donation account for the cemetery and the fire department to keep their money separate because we're getting more and more donations on those two things. Like today, I got another $5,000 donation from the electrical company that gave them money to be able to buy the trailer and stuff like that. So I'm thinking we want to keep that in a high yield savings account for them, grow a little interest. And that way we're not trying to find it in the general fund, or if something, God forbid, happens to somebody and they go like, well, where's the donation? Well, I don't know what a donation would be. We don't want to be back in the same situation as we were when I came here trying to find the money. If you have an account clearly labeled cemetery donations, fire donations, then you know where your money's supposed to be.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just-
But in order for me to open them, I gotta have them.
How does the fire department's fund work right at the moment?
So currently they have their budget and then they have their capital
Because it's been
improvements.
operating the way it is, right? I mean,
Right. So what they do is the money so they don't even use, this is what's annoying me, is that when they get a donation, they spend it without having any accountability. So because it's not ours to spend, it's the department's.
Technically theirs,
It's
right?
technically theirs. So what happens is they like, oh, we have the 5,000 left from this donation and 500 for that donation. Well, I have to hunt and peck and find it in the accounting system. Like, Where did it go? Is it in the general fund? If we put it right into the donation account, they can call me and say, how much do we have left in the donation account? Like, okay, got like 75, print a report, here you go, you have $7,500 plus your whatever your interest is earned. And then it's clear. And same way with the cemetery. We ended up getting a $1,500 donation this year to work on the headstones. I think it was for Pond. Last year, we got another one for maintenance in Pond 2, I think, for 500 and something. And then the haying that comes in from, I thought put the Fordyce money in there because that money has to be tracked and carried. And then it's all in that one account. We know, okay, they're taking out $300 for the sign at Fordyce, or they're taking out $1,500 for maintenance and repairs to the stones that was donated, and then it's a tracking system and it's all in a separate account. I've done them that way before, but if you don't want to do it that way, that's fine. I can keep a spreadsheet separate, but it's cleaner. So it has a trio report and a bank account, so they can have a bank statement and their report, and each of them will know exactly what they have.
So it makes it easier for her. Maybe
Well, I
that,
just want to be cognizant of the fact that they should have the ability to have some input on where that money goes.
Right, and that-
money
and
is
makes
given
sense.
to them directly.
And then
I
and they
don't wanna
do.
overstep the bounds of the.
Right, and that's another reason why it doesn't get eaten up, like say, put in to reduce their, it won't reduce their budget. It's their money to use as they see fit or as it has been assigned by the person who donated it. So they make the decision on how to use those funds. We have no control over it. They can call me up tomorrow and say, I want to use that 5,000 to buy a trailer,
I guess
and they can.
the only thing that I don't like about it, I guess, what's rubbing me wrong is like, no offense, but why am I calling you to get my money?
Well, because it's made out to the fire department, who is they're municipal, so they are a sub entity under the town. So technically we do have control of their finances. If it was donated to their association, we'd have nothing to do with it.
Okay.
But this is being donated to the fire department through the town entity.
Thank you.
Is there any rules and regulations as to what they can spend it on? I mean, if they decide that they need.
It has to be something that's.
Day as in cemetery as well.
Mhm.
It reaches a certain dollar amount and it has to come before this board.
Right. That's where I'm getting the same thing. It's like.
See, I don't think that because it's donation, I don't think the $500 thing would apply, would it? I don't think it would. And so my
Yeah.
assumption would be is that,
Why do we even have it now?
well, the $500 thing?
No, I mean, why does it even have to come through the town if it's donations directly to them, if we have no
because it's
say in
made
it
out
at
to
all?
Unity Fire Department, not Unity Fire Association. So the checks are payable to an entity of the town.
They can't cash the checks.
They can't cash the check. The treasurer has to.
If I make out a check to Unity Fire Department, they can't cash a check.
Nope. They can't. It has to be made out to the association.
Right.
Because we own the fire department.
And so as far as usage of the fund, to answer your question, Peggy, it would be that you could use the way the donations accounts I've set up in the past is there to be used for anything that's not currently budgeted for or for a specified item. So like, for example, Lori Nason donated $1,500 for the repair to the stones in the cemetery. That $1,500 is earmarked for maintenance only to those stones. It can be used above and beyond your regular budgeted items. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have your budget and then you have your donation account. Or you can designate to take that $1,500 to reduce your budget because your maintenance is going to include the maintenance of the stones that year. But it also keeps it separate so you're not chasing the check, chasing where the money is held.
So we have the ability to question every move that they make.
Nope.
Yeah, kind of. If it's all,
What do you
no,
mean?
it just feels like,
I agree.
it feels like,
Yeah, but so what's the difference? Because right now, they give us the money, she puts it in the bank account, right?
Mm-hmm. And then they come to me and they say they bought this and say pay it out of my donation account. I pay it and you sign the warrant. I mean, there's no requirement right now for them to come to you. The only time they have to come to you is for a purchase over 500 or if it's a non-budgeted over 500 item. Like if I wanted to spend $1,000 on supplies versus 500, I'd have to say, hey, I have to order this amount of supplies this week. It's going to exceed the $500 limit. You guys have to give me a verbal approval or approval in a meeting. But if it's a budgeted item, like a contract amount, and you say, okay, we're converting the phone system, well, I'm just going to pay the bill because we already approved for the budget to convert the phone system. That's how I've understood it.
Because we're not keeping track, we're not restricting them on that account.
No, we're not. We don't restrict them.
The fund, the donations, we, if they go out and.
Yeah, they really have nothing to do with us. Really,
No,
I mean,
it really shouldn't even come to this office.
that's what I guess ultimately that's what I'm getting to.
But unfortunately, we
You
do
know.
get checks that come here.
And we
If I
do,
wanna make a donation to the cemetery committee, it should,
but the cemetery
I'd be better off
committee
if
is,
I made it out to a particular person, an individual.
and have them take care of
Yeah.
taking care of the services.
If you try,
Yeah,
that's all I'm getting at.
I think that-
It shouldn't be, if you have no say over it, why is it coming here is where I'm getting at.
I'm on the other side of it because it's coming here. I'd rather have it set aside into an account so that we know what they have so they can use it. We don't have any control over it, but at least they can't say, oh, well, we got this donation 10 years ago and I'm not here now. And they're like, just like we had to track down the recreation funds. That was like, it took us forever. And we're still not 100% sure we got them all, but we got close enough. And then we determined when we did a state of the account, this is what you have. So now rec department has that. They have a debit card with theirs. These two accounts would be money market accounts, savings only. When they have us order something or they have to pay an invoice, the money gets transferred from their donation account to our general fund to cut the check for them.
At the end of the game plan here, any money that comes through that door, we should keep track of it.
Right, exactly. And
any money
that's,
that leaves the door, we should keep track of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a photocopy, 25 cents,
mhm.
it should be a receipt for that, even though that money,
Especially where they're using that money to create, they're using those donation funds in most cases to create a fixed asset for the town. So like, for example, one of the first donations they got, the first $5,000 donations, they bought a trailer to go with the UTV that we have. So that is being used for a specific purpose. That ATV trailer is now a fixed asset of the town and owned by the town and can only be sold by the town, unlike it only being owned by the association. So it clearly sets a standard that they're using it solely for, they could even use their donation funds, say, God forbid this happens, say a local firefighter for, fire chief or something passes away in a fire. They could vote as a group of firefighters, say, we're going to donate $500 to that fallen firefighter's family. And it comes out of their donation account. It does not come out of, they have the privilege to use those funds the way they want to.
so a couple of years ago, we sold 2 fire trucks
Mm-hmm.
and they came in and they wanted the money back from the fire truck. Nobody on the board had a clue about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to go digging because they claimed that the associations who paid for the fire truck.
Right.
And we had to go looking through the books
Mm-hmm.
to find it, So that could be like a way, because like you're gone, I'm gone, Chris is gone, she's gone. And
Just like I'm trying to track down why we have these commingled funds in the investment account. We have cemetery funds, we have perpetual care funds, we have the scholarship funds, they're all commingled and they shouldn't be. We have to have a clear accounting system set up.
I just don't want this to give the illusion that it seems like a hostile takeover.
No, it isn't. It isn't. And in fact, I've actually talked to Denise, and I believe I've talked a little bit with Peggy just tonight, though, that how this would work. And Andy's all for it because it helps him keep track of where those donation funds are. We're not always hunting for them. And, he can call me up or I can give him access and he can run a report and say, oh, there you go. You've got this much money in there. And we were concerned,
You have people in these positions that, again, I don't want to sound like a broken record,
No.
but you have people in these positions that you're placing trust in to
Mhm.
run these organizations, or else they won't be there, and you
Now, if they were still
you would trust that
volunteer,
this money is being used appropriately.
and this is a way to track to prove that it is. Especially where we're in custody of the funds, we have to follow the government accounting standards, which would mean that we wouldn't want to commingle them with the regular town funds,
You
which
don't
is what they have.
technically have to. Half of the municipalities don't. They don't keep track of their money on a proper basis.
Well, they're supposed to, but we've heard that some haven't.
Lots.
Lots. I mean, look at our county right now. You can't find the money. I would rather go, I would rather go
You can't use
to,
the legal standpoint with me because it
Yeah.
creates no weight.
I think that if we know
By
that
law,
we're
you have to
doing.
do this. And
No.
it's like, well,
Nobody
Well,
else.
no, well, no, I mean, I'm not saying by law, I mean, we need to follow the government standards. I mean, if you think about the county situation, they're not following the government,
That's right.
government accounting standards, and it's being reflected in their audit, and it could cause
Gateway Communications. is not
gateway
following
communication,
government
so,
standards
right,
either.
but they're not a government entity. They're not a government
Yeah,
entity.
one of them's an LLC.
It's an
That's-
LLC,
that's-
but it's not a
it's
government
not a
entity.
government entity, but they have a 501.
They're a
C3
nonprofit,
That's a
right?
nonprofit division.
But
that
nonprofits
takes
don't-
government grants. And
But
you're
they don't have
supposed-
to follow the same procedures. Because they're not, we have to
Private.
follow the government, the
They're getting
GSA,
government
GASB.
And they're lying.
They are lying. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just stating that I feel I would rather have it separate and accounted for clearly. So at the end of the day, I walk away, everybody walks away. We know we left it, that they had that amount of money in that account.
And you're absolutely right.
Mm.
When everyone's gone, it's a tracking system that will allow.
And that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's more of tracking. I didn't even go down the road of taking over, hostile takeover, anything like that. I mean, I talked to Andy and Denise about it, asked their opinions first before I even brought it to you guys. I mean, we've already talked about it a couple of times in work session, but I wanted to bring it formally before the board because we need a vote to open the accounts.
Obviously, it's gonna be in the town report,
Yep, it will be.
and, if the citizens see that, they have $750,000.
Why are we appropriating more money?
Right.
You know,
Which,
and rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
It's
They should
supposed
know.
to- we're all in hopes that these things could be self-funded by donations.
yeah,
Mhm.
Everyone.
Yeah.
When you're given the money willingly,
Yeah.
that's a lot better than taking it from somebody.
Yeah.
And
Right.
we all know that donation system is the best way to go. So,
It's the best way to go, but who's going to be, so the fire, or the cemetery committee, they get out there and they're getting all these donations,
Mhm.
asking for donations, suggesting donations. How do we justify it if we're also working off the town?
So at that point, you make a decision. Do you some people make donations in memory of people, so they have to be used for specified tasks. So like, for example, we've got the money in the 4 Days Fund, you've got the money from the Nasons, you've got the money from another couple that donated, like it's $570, and then you get the money that's coming in from the haying. You take all of that in the donation account, you have to use it as it's been asked to. But if they just may say, I'm making a donation for maintenance of the cemeteries, then you as a cemetery committee could appropriate blah, blah, blah amount to reduce your budget from the town. Instead of using town taxation, you use a portion of that donation. We're not going to tell you to do that, but if you make that choice, you can. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends. I mean, the board puts, their trust in the integrity of the people that are on the boards to make appropriate decisions. And if they're
Absolutely.
not, they're going to revoke those privileges and change it up. But at the end of the day,
Yeah, $500,000 in your account and you're.
asking for 50,000 for something, then there's a problem. Maybe we're going to ask, well,
Like,
have
what's
you ever
the
thought
game
about
plan?
what, right? Right. Do you have that money set aside to buy a parcel of land to expand cemeteries,
It would be awesome if they were all self-funded through donations. They didn't have to have special appropriations and whatnot.
But if we get to be able to spend it the way we want it to spend, and then, okay, so I died and I left all my worldly goods to the cemetery committee,
Mhm.
and it's way beyond the budget. Trust me, they ain't happening. So I've given them $100,000 as a donation,
Mhm.
and they can do with it whatever they wanna do with it.
That's what I feel.
As long as you I mean, so I had situations.
I wouldn't, if I was donating the money, I wouldn't specify for a particular area. By the sounds of it, we need multiple subsections that say, if I donate money to fix headstones in the cemetery, that's all it can be used for.
Mhm.
If
Well,
you
and
don't
that's-
say that,
Oh, I mean, I hear it, I'm just,
So
general suggestion, just ask.
I've had situations where, in previous towns that people with a lot of money pass away and they want to donate a huge amount of money to, like, say, the fire department, but they say you can only use it to build a new fire station or buy a fire truck. So that goes in a trust fund. That goes a trust entity rather than the donation account. That's specifically saying narrowing it. If it's a generic donation for the cemetery maintenance and the headstones and repairs and stuff like that, it goes into the donation account. If someone left $100,000 in a cemetery committee, they could specify this is to expand cemetery property. So, like, say, for example, 30 years from now, we don't have any room again and we have to find a place to bury people, and someone has graciously donated money to buy a parcel of it, that would be in a trust fund rather than a donation account. Because we have trust entities that have been merged into that, what we were talking about. Those are supposed to be separate. You can pool them to collect the interest, but you have to have them identified as what they're used for. Like, this one is specified for cemeteries. This one is for overseers of the poor. Like, there's a small account that you could take money out at the discretion of the board to help somebody, that you don't have to use restrictions of GA and Salvation Army and all of that stuff. Then there's one for the scholarships. That way you have so much the interest off that account. The principal stays the same, but it says that in that trust document that says the interest can be used to fund a scholarship for a Mount View high school graduate. And so on, and down the road, same with perpetual care. Your perpetual care keeps the principle of perpetual care, which the state statute says you can't utilize any of those funds that you collect for perpetual care, but you can use the interest drawn off those funds. So you have $100,000 sitting in your perpetual care account and you gain a couple $1,000s a year interest that can be utilized for the maintenance of the cemeteries. And so it depends on, and you can do the same thing with these donation accounts. You can have each of the cemetery and the fire department draft how they intend to use those funds, or you could just leave them. It's their money, it's donation. They get to use it.
Their money is donation.
They get to use it the way they
use
want
it
to.
The way they see that is the way I look at it.
And the one thing that we did with the one that we had in St. Albans with the fire department is they designated that it had to be an unbudgeted item that they use the donation for. So, like, for example, something happens and they had budgeted so many suits of new gear. And then they had an influx of participants and had to buy 5 sets of gear at $10,000 pop, say. Well, they have $50,000 or whatever in their account. They're like, okay, this is not a budgeted item. We need the gear. We're going to vote to use our donation funds to buy the gear to outfit those firefighters. So they have the control and the vote of where the funds and how the funds get spent. We just help them facilitate it because they're not allowed to have a checking account because they're a sub-entity of the town. They can't have access to a checking account.
All right, so are we making a motion? What are we doing now? Are we opening up a donation account for the cemetery and fire department?
I think it's good to keep track of it, yes.
So, make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we set up donation accounts for the cemetery funds along with the fire department.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Yay. Approved treasurer's accounts. Dun, dun, dun.
Here's a copy of the bills.
I just don't want them to be handcuffed.
They're not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. In fact, I would go so far as drafting a document that would say that they would have the free reign to utilize the funds myself. I mean, I would I myself would
It
do
gives
that.
you the ability also to look in this account and say, why are we spending tax dollars here when you have X amount
Mhm.
piling up?
Right.
Right.
It's happening a little bit with the rec committee, isn't it?
Well, they have piled up some funds there. They keep collecting funds and saving, and they're not putting as much out for the citizens with the anticipation that they think that they're gonna have to pay for maintenance of a park if we acquire it. And to some extent, that's correct, but then if you think about it, it really, Parks and Rec isn't about the maintenance of the park. It's more about the utilization of the funds to help fund activities for the citizens in the parks and the recreation department. My take on that is that if we owned a parcel of land that was a park, the town budget would include a maintenance contract with our mowing contractor, myself. And then they may consider, oh, well, we want to raise money to put in a new playground. Well, that would be something that would come out of recreation, but they have the determination and the ability to determine how those funds get used. Do you know what I mean?
Which is basically the same idea.
Same idea.
Yeah.
They have, theirs is a checking account because they have to have a debit card because lots of times they'll buy supplies for the senior night and Puzzle Palooza and stuff like that. Spur of the moment stuff. Yeah. Which one are you looking at?
No, you just signed this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are
All right.
we sign those. The clerk, Brianna's signature isn't on the other side, so.
That's who it is, right. It's three of them. My bad. So like
The doc, you're putting that in through TIF, right?
I reimburse it out of TIF, yes. I put it through under Canoculus, under supplies, and then I reimburse the expense account at the end of the year based on how much we use for out of the TIF. That's part of the stuff that I'm gonna start working on this month is closing out those books. This is the one you sign, and then the book, yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I should have you guys sign those minutes that you approved. There might be a couple of warrants behind there that need signatures, probably payroll and state payables.
Was the pay warrant in the book?
No, pay warrants in there, because you guys normally sign them on Monday night, so I don't put the payroll in your binders. One more meeting and that book can be emptied again. I can start over.
I'm gonna take mine.
Yeah, I wondered how much of that you guys, I mean, every once in a while when it gets so full, I pull it out and I put it in the drawer. But if you guys want me to just dispose of some of that data,
Yeah.
I'm more than welcome to just throw out stuff like you don't need.
throw mine out.
I won't throw yours out. You want me to put them in your box? Your box is
Yeah,
over full too. I might get a file box to say, Tony, it's your turn. You look for this one. So,
I got a bunch of boxes of letters full of town paperwork.
and I'm sure it's probably saved you bacon a couple of times too, hanging on to stuff. Calling me. At the truck, the Northeast. I did go back because I found out that they're charging us sales tax and they're not supposed to. We have a sales, we're exempt. So I requested, I short paid that bill. If you look at the invoice on the top, the front page, I deducted all I went back to the entire account and they've been charging us right along. I didn't catch it. So I short paid it what they owe us back in sales tax. I'm going to send a memo with it with a copy of our sales tax exempt certificate, showing that we're not gonna pay the difference. Seems like those are getting heftier and heftier when I see them for the repairs to the trucks. That's the newest truck too, isn't it? Isn't that the
Yep.
17?
What was the repair on?
It looked like we did, shoes and, state inspection.
State inspection's only $125, so it had to been, is the repairs to complete the quality of the inspection possibly?
Some coolant pipe.
It's all normal maintenance, so.
Mhm.
The brakes probably get more abuse than the accelerate than the motor.
No, you're probably not wrong there. Here's your minutes to sign.
Alright, solar. What do you guys wanna do about solar?
Remember we had the presentation from Mr. Solar Earth about joining, and those are the minutes from the ones you guys just approved. I didn't copy it and put it in your book because you guys should still have this, but you can take my copy and pass it around. The idea is that we get a credit off our bill by joining in.
What do you need to pass around?
Well, it's just the flyer. I mean, you guys remember the presentation that we had, and the rep reached out to us a week or so ago, and I said I would bring it back to the board because we kind of tabled it and said, let's think about it, how we want to move forward with it. I don't see a problem with it, but we grab the savings now and worry about the rest of it later. There is no obligation to continue it if we don't want to.
We can walk out of there anytime we want.
That was my understanding, yes.
We can both partake in pretend land.
Is there a contract we gotta sign or?
They haven't sent us one. I just wanted to know if you wanted me to move forward to get that data. And if you want me to move forward to get a contract and get that started, I can do that and have it for the next meeting.
What are we talking about for savings?
Oh, let me see that. Let me see if it tells me.
Should pay for all this coming year's budget.
There, you wish. The biggest savings.
So you're on
we're
the
getting-
hook calling them the dump.
Right. Yeah, how old are those solar panels?
20 years. They junk. Non-recyclable. They'll all find chapter 11 by then and be out of business, and whoever the landowner or the municipality is gonna have to take care of all that garbage.
Looks like roughly 15%, and that's the breakdown for us based on usage.
We can save 14%. Look at that.
He said you could opt out anytime you wanted to.
Yep.
No penalties.
No penalty.
You have that, right?
Mhm.
We will have before we sign anything.
If you don't like it, you can just walk away. That's what he said.
Sounds good.
Unbelievable energy savings when it's dark at 4 o'clock. They make absolutely no sense in the Northeast.
Well, I think that section that doesn't make sense.
Snow sitting on top of them. I'm just delaying, huh? I'm just a product of negativity.
I guess.
Sunshine over here.
Ray of sunshine all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Do you have that other set of minutes done over there?
Probably not.
Now to get on Dave's bad side.
Talk about
I'll put a solar
solar.
farm right in front of his house.
Personal ones, totally fine. You wanna do one to power your house and stuff like that, by all means.
Is that you or me, Roxanne?
That's me.
Okay, I was gonna say, I ate.
No, it's me.
Yeah, he said we can opt out anytime we want.
All right, so let's make
He was sitting right here,
Yeah, it was.
right in the spot.
No, it's over one more inch. One more inch.
Somebody make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we proceed with the contract with Solar Earth.
Somebody second it?
I'll second it also.
I wasn't here for it.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'll second it. All in favor? Yay!
Did we get everybody's vote on that?
I'm gonna save 15% on the tax.
Biggest impact is gonna be at the salt shed and the streetlights. So what's the vote again? One,
I'm seeing. I wasn't
abstained. Are you gonna
I
vote?
voted.
Okay, I didn't see it. Okay, so 2
2-0.
to 0
I
and
didn't
Chris
know that I wasn't
abstained.
here.
I made the motion and I seconded it.
All right, number 10, liquor license renewal for Stone Tree.
Yeah, there's a copy of it in there. We now receive them digitally, and I was under the impression, I probably should have brought it to you first, but I was under the impression that we weren't going to not sign a renewal for most of our businesses because it would
That
prevent.
hostile takeover again.
Sorry. But I ended up
St.
doing.
Albans, you know.
I know. St. Albans, we didn't
What
have
I'm
these.
worried about with the cemetery committee, back down.
Oh, my goodness. Well, anyway, I've signed it. There's a copy of the digital license there.
Anybody here want to object us signing this liquor license renewal? Anybody here want to object us signing this liquor license?
No.
renewal?
No.
You sure? Anybody?
I'm
Somebody out there in the hallway?
No.
All right,
Line out the door.
Next.
Pull line out the door.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
The ayes have it.
Okay.
All right, what else we got? Let's see.
Selectmen business.
All right, Chris, you got anything you want to talk about, complain about?
No.
Notes? Dave?
No complaints here, Tony.
I got nothing either. All right, public feedback, ideas, complaints, anything from the public? Peggy, your hand up? No?
I have one question.
No,
It's
can't.
just a question. And that's on the signatures for the open door.
Yes.
What's the status of that? I just
So
wonder-
we have, they've got just under, I think they got like 63 signatures they brought in today. With
Okay.
what you have, if you bring them in, I
Yeah.
should be able to get them
Okay.
certified and they'll be done.
Okay.
Same one you had there in the back.
I got-
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
well,
said
okay.
that she thought you had like 10 or 10-ish, so that should be,
14.
that should be
Give me another
almost,
day.
yeah, should be
I got
about
more.
enough.
I think, for me, the open doors, it's something I don't want to get slipped through the cracks. I mean, and that's why I just wanted to ask. I told Pat that
All right.
I'd go out and-
I do have correspondence.
Oh.
There is a public hearing Friday night for the county budget.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I've discovered, in researching the benefits package that they're claiming that they got quoted and denied. I reached out to our representative who also turned me over to the director of Maine Municipal Employee Health Trust. And they did not
Right.
get denied by Maine Municipal Health Trust for their benefits package.
Mm-hmm.
Maine Municipal Health Trust approached them in 2023 and 24, and they were told because their increase was 9%, and theirs was 7%, they weren't going to do it. So they never were provided the documentation to be able to bid and quote the benefit package for the county, and the county never requested it. Maine Municipal Employee Health Trust does not reject coverage because they pool and they are a self-insurer. So they work with the entity to build the plan that's beneficial for that pool. They insure sheriff's departments, counties, police departments for benefits for their health insurance, their property and casualty insurance, their workers' comp insurance, and their unemployment insurance. So I call bullcrap. They did not get rejected by Maine Municipal for their health trust, and nor did they get a quote or even try to get a quote from Maine Municipal Health Trust. I have the,
Friday,
Yeah.
arguing that.
so I have an email. I don't know if I can get down there Friday, but I do have the email from the director at Maine Municipal Health Trust that you're more than willing to take and show as Exhibit A if you'd like.
Yeah, thank you.
It just goes to show if they're gonna lie in open session. They're also, the document that I got from Commissioner Parker was about showing how much the increase was gonna be for town. We requested it. I was told by the clerk at county that it didn't exist. And I said, well, it does exist. I have possession of it. I received it from a commissioner. Well, that's something that was created outside of the government. It wasn't created by a entity of the county or employee of the county. I said, any document that is created by a board or appointed board or elected becomes foiable by any party. So that document, come to find out, was actually presented as part of a commissioner's meeting, and that actually is a foiable document that the county clerk should have had possession of and did not, or could not get to me. Not to mention requesting what the percentage is, being an obligatory party under the contract exempts us from the FOIA request. So they should have been able to provide us that documentation upon request. Simple math. What is the percentage that you're going to charge us based on what you anticipate on this budget? So I don't know if I can get down there Friday. If you want me to make time to go down, I will. But those are my two big concerns. But what if this is just the tip of the iceberg? What else are they hiding?
Right.
Where is the overage that's coming? So they have unexpended funds from all of these different checking accounts. They know what they've spent. They know what they budgeted. The difference, they need to take that money and carry it forward and reduce the budget. It's not Hungry Hippo at the first meeting of the friggin' year where you can take that money and appropriate it somewhere else. Talking with Matt Curtis, he went through his budget. He told me he found enough in overages over the last few years in his budget alone that got reappropriated that could almost fund the increase on that budget due to the contract for the $450,000 to Somerset County. So I think that people need to step up and push back. And if it goes through, I would suggest, petitioning to get it on to it, to the citizens at some point. But that's my beef. I've got the email if you'd like to have it.
It just boils down to a matter of fact, nobody's ever tried, but what happens when you just don't pay?
Right. Yeah. That was a great point that was brought up.
It's the only entity,
You get
the
to
only
a point, I mean,
taxation.
What's gonna happen?
What are you gonna do?
I'm not, this town is not paying that.
There's a lot of towns that were saying that's what they might do.
Right.
They're just gonna send in what they sent in last year.
Mhm.
You're not getting any more.
Yeah, jail's beautiful this time of year, so.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, the biggest thing is what I would like to see is that
Waldo County Jail.
I really think that why would 3 people that have been elected be able to create a budget, give it to an appointed committee that isn't even given the same information that the public is given, to put a rubber stamp on, to give it back to those 3 same people to vote to have all these towns pay it? Why is that not going out to citizens vote? I mean, we do that. They wouldn't pay the taxes. We'd be back at the voting booths every year with that. They'd be, no. School district, we're pushing back against the school district. We need transparency.
It's
We
the
need to know
same-
what
It's
is.
the same exact tactic with the school
Have
district.
they determined where they're holding this meeting yet?
No, it's still to be determined. And I'm assuming it's going to depend on who shows up. We may end up in a bigger.
Well, let's hope so.
No way.
No, they need to know that ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere in that building they could have put all these
No.
people.
No.
Yeah.
It was packed.
Yeah, it was standing room only.
I stood in the hallway and there was about 50 people in the hallway probably.
Mhm.
And anybody,
There might have been 3 or 4.
anybody that was there didn't hear.
And everybody's in there, squished in there like,
They have it on YouTube on our
Yeah.
video, and you can hear all the comments, questions, and it's.
Yeah, I listened
I
to it
was-
from home. I listened to it from home.
I was quite shocked. You could hear them actually pretty good out in the hallway.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
good.
you could hear, if you were down the hallway, you couldn't, but if you were anywhere near that door, by the double door, you could hear most people, not everyone, but you could hear most people, yes.
It was pretty obvious that nobody was impressed with the
Yeah.
figures that they had.
Well, I asked them about MMA, and they dodged that.
They did it and that's why I asked you out. I said, I call bullshit, and I've got the email I'll give you.
Then, I don't know if it was after, but somebody came back to me and said that they said the MMA was gonna be 20% higher, and that's why they didn't go that route.
So they haven't actually approached MMA at all. MMA reached out to them
Right, so then
twice,
that's
and they
bogus.
wouldn't, and in order to find out, they said, because their self-insurer is Aetna. I found that out from Deputy Curtis. He said that, so when I talked to the director at MMA, she said when they approached them, they said, well, theirs is going up 7 and ours is going up 9, so they didn't bother to provide us the document to quote. But do you know if Aetna's prices are comparable to Blue Cross? They never gave them the data to make that determination. So having the plan that they have at Aetna, the other thing is they went into commissioner's a session a few weeks ago and they voted to get rid of the health insurance benefits for the commissioners. They can't do that. Their policy states that they provide it. You have to have a policy change approved by the parties that be before you can go and just wipe it out of your budget. So that was wrong. They could face a lawsuit with that, but I mean, there's just
And that's only
stupid.
3 individuals, that's not.
That's only 3 individuals, right? But still, you still have to follow the same policy and procedure that you've set forth in your policy handbook.
Well, I'm not debating,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
I
saying that,
understand.
You keep going, you'll get yelled at too.
I'm sorry.
I've been yelled at all day today. This is just my stop.
No,
I'm
but these are just things that if they're gonna skirt the issues and point blank lie and tell us that documents don't exist when they were presented in court session, then what else are they hiding? Where's the money? Where's the money?
You just need to write.
They don't know where the money is.
Then they need to hire a forensic auditor or they all need to get
They
done.
claim that, I mean, we all know,
But
we're
the
all
question
right,
was asked.
we're right back to square one, is
Mhm.
that there hasn't been an audit done there in 4
But the
years.
audit doesn't, so the audit doesn't really, so audits don't really tell you where the money is. It just
Really?
has to.
Well, why do you do them?
The audit is to basically say that you are
Check and
following
balance.
the checks and balances, that you're administering your budget and paying the bills as they're presented. So if you have a bill,
If you have shoddy record keeping, how are you supposed to know where the money is unless you do
That's
an
why you
audit?
get a forensic audit.
that's
a
why you need a
forensic.
forensic auditor. I ended up doing your forensic audit here and found the money. That's pretty much what I did for the
I
last
know.
2 years. So they need someone to go in and do
You
that
can't do
there.
anything till you know how much money
Well,
is there.
something that.
You
Right.
don't,
I mean-
you have to work your way back to figure out, you go back to when you did know where the money was and work your way through the
They've been budgeting for an audit every year.
Mhm.
It went from 8 to 30 this year, but it actually went to 60 because somebody asked them in the budget, there's a line for audit where it went 8 to 30. And then somebody asked about the commissioner's line and under professional services, he said that extra 30 there was for an auditor. So that's in addition to the audit line, so that's 60,000. On top of the fact they've already budgeted for the audits in the past. So something, if that's not paying for a forensic auditor, then I don't know,
So just to give you case in point, because they have the same audit firm that we do. The audit firm now has changed how they bill us. We have to prepay for the upcoming year ahead of time. So I have to pay in 2026, 50% of the 27-28 audit. So that's a part of it. Our 27-28 audit is going to cost us almost $12,000 for here. So if they're 5 years behind, as we know, that 60,000 is the right number.
Money is my point.
Right.
They audit for years that they haven't. obviously
So where's that
haven't
money? Again, that's the hungry hippo. First meeting of the year, they go and
Right.
grab it and put it wherever they want it and buy whatever they want. That's what needs to stop. They need to go through all of you know what you budgeted, you know what you've spent. You take that money that's different and you go forward. Don't worry about what the balance is. Just use what you have left over before you try. Don't pad it because you're just taxing without representation. They could probably reduce that budget probably and only give us like a 10% increase if they really tried.
Anybody else got anything?
Sorry.
I absolutely do not.
All right. 7:57, call the selectmen's meeting over. Dave, you want to second that?
Seconded.
Walking out the door.
Aye.
I see you later.
Ooh,
Okay,
how'd you end up with that?
I'm
Yeah,
done.
I don't know. That's a motion. I think,